Alright, so this is a thing some folks streamed up that's been being referred to as Twiddle Storm. So, Lotus Field here is the new land from Standard. And it comes into play, you sacrifice 2 other lands, and then it has hexproof interplay tapped and adds 3 mana of any color. So the basic idea, the name Twiddle comes from this card here that says tap or untap, target artifact, creature, or land. So basically, Twiddle on Lotus Field makes 3 mana. So you can start comboing as early as turn 3, because you'll float mana off the 2 lands you already have into play this tapped, and then twiddle it to untap it. And then past that, we have Dreamer's Grip here to tap or untap target permanent. So this is another twiddle effect. We have Reach Through Midst, which is notably an arcane spell to draw a card. And then you have Psychic Puppetry here, which can splice onto arcane to add pay blue to add its effect to something. So basically, Psychic Puppetry on its own with Lotus Field pays 2 mana to make 3 mana. But with Reach Through Mist, you can also draw a card and pay 2 mana to make 3 mana. And with Psychic Puppetry and Peer Through Depths, you can pay 3 to make 3 mana and get Peer Through Depths as effect. And this is another effect to tap or untap. And Ideas Unbound lets you draw cards while splicing Psychic Puppetry. And then eventually, you can win the game with Grapeshot after casting a bunch of spells. And we have copies of Past in Flames to like loop these things back up out of our bin as well. Yeah, you can only splice once per card that you have. So if you have extra mana and Psychic Puppetry, you can't just like pay a blue to keep untapping it, basically. Oh, that's true too. Even if you could splice multiples, it's not like they resolve one at a time. Your whole spell happens, then it just untaps all at once. Good call. We're doing all right. First league was thoroughly modern. We played a fair deck. We played against Tron Lantern Controls. That kind of sucked. We're playing a sweet unfair deck now, though. So hopefully this deck is relatively consistent. I think I'm supposed to keep this, right? This hand's just like any land away from being really good. Are we on modern all day? No, just 2 modern decks today. I am going to be cutting back to 1 modern deck a day until they ban Hagak, but I do want to make up for yesterday's downtime. I was concerned. I was missing something by how reasonable it sounded. Right? LOL. Alright, so I do need to draw a land here, so I'm going to go ahead and Reach Through Mist at the end of their turn here just to draw a card. And now my hand just doesn't do anything, right? I think this was right to keep, but feels bad, man. Like now they get to hold up counter spells, and they have a relatively quick clock, right? Like I might not get 2 more turns here. Like they're taking me from 5 down to 10. If they just like have a bolt here, I'm probably dead. Which is not ideal. I definitely think our keep was good, because, like, in addition to having Lotus Field and, like, a redraw, the rest of our hand is, like, excellent here. All right, if they don't have a bolt, they need to not have a bolt and not have a counterspell. So far, I can say the deck is performing at expectations. It's pretty unfortunate, too, because this was a tapped land. If this had been an untapped land, we'd have been able to, like, tap their Delver and try and go off next turn. I mean, to be fair there, if we had drawn a second land, we were probably going to kill them on 3. I'm just going to bring in some bolts here. Yep. Is restricting Hagak a route WotC can take? No, we don't have restricted cards outside of Vintage. Because restricted lists suck. It's confusing. It's confusing to explain to new players. And it makes deck checks awkward. I think I'm in for both of these, huh? Maybe not Ideas Unbound just yet. Soon, I'll be able to ride instead of walk in this game. Thanks for the 21 months, Johnny boy. And I dropped you a message on Discord. I appreciate you going through the hoops and checking for that stuff, but I'm not going to go to the MCQ. Modern is modern. I definitely want the Dreamer's Grip. The question is, do I want the Idea Unbound as well? I think I probably do. Pierce me, daddy. Pierce me. I think I go bottoms up this time around, though. Yep. Great. Hopefully they tap out for a Pyromancer here, and then we get to untap and do our thing. All right, I think we start with this. Okay, so cast and splice additional spells. Splice you, choose you. Hit OK. Yes, untap Lotus Field. So now we do this, and we cast this, splice additional spells, choose this, target this, hit OK. So I'm gonna have 3 mana. This is 4/5. So Psychic Puppetry would be 6. No, I think I'm taking Psychic Puppetry so I can pass in Flames, right? Because this is gonna untap, which is 3, and this gives me 4/5. And then, no, I don't even need the 6 mana, do I? Because I have Twiddles in my bin. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely Serum Visions. So now we do this. We untap this. We make red. We cast Past in Flames, leaving a blue. Then we twiddle this. Then we make blue. And I can Ideas Unbound, cast with flashback, splice additional spells, target this. I would love to untap it. So storm count is 8. Make blue. Cast Pierce, splice additional spells, splice this, target this. Press OK. I would love to untap this. Make blue. Eye of Nowhere. Cast. Splice additional spells. Target this. I would love to untap this. Pay blue. Cast Peer Through Depths. Splice additional spells. Target this. Grab Ideas Unbound. This deck is so cheeky. At least this deck's like actually doing something that's good in Modern, right? So I mean, at this point, we're just like waiting. We're just like trying to cast enough spells to... We're just trying to cast enough spells to generate lethal storm count, is what it is. Yeah, like this is turn 3, right? Like my opponent took 2 turns and they're dying. So like we're currently experiencing what I would definitely refer to as peak Modern. Someone please explain the loop. So, the reason why my opponent wasn't conceding there is we're not in a deterministic loop. Basically, I'm casting a bunch of spells that are arcane spells that let me splice Psychic Puppetry onto them to untap Lotus Field. So basically, for 1 extra mana, I get to untap Lotus Field when I cast spells like Reach Through Miss, which allows me to kind of churn through my deck while being mana neutral or netting a mana. And then eventually we Grapeshot them and they die. Yeah, I believe what was just experienced there would quantify as doing it. Yes, do it yourself, Dark Rituals. And it's not a deterministic loop because we need to keep drawing through different things in our deck in order to make it work. Yeah, this is probably closer to JAC than Storm in the fact that, like, it's not deterministic. I think I mulligan this. It, like, doesn't have a Lotus Field. It doesn't have any good cantrips to find one. This doesn't have field, but it has lots of good cantrips to find one, so I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to ditch Past in Flames here. I think I want to keep the Bolt to kill their first threat. What do we think about Stoneforge Mystic and Splinter Twin? I think it's very silly that both of those cards are banned. You should spend your gold on whatever you think will spark joy, Conqueror. If you think you will have fun with M20 packs, you should buy M20 packs. If you don't think you will have fun with M20 packs, you should not buy them. I guess these are the same card basically, right? This is marginally better. Right. And this is the interesting or awkward part about this deck that makes me question the claims about consistent turn 3-4 kills. Like needing a specific 4 of feels like not something you could do consistently in this format just because of the power of the cantrips that exist in it. My opponent revealed surgical extraction there. Yep. Morning, Aussie Pants. Happy Thursday. All right, there's a Lotus Field. So we're going to start trying to do stuff next turn. So the easiest response to people who are making the bad faith or lazy argument that Stoneforge Mystic would go into every white deck and it would homogenize them, you do this. You pull up this modern metagame list and you go, yeah, I bet Stoneforge Mystic would go into every one of these white decks. Oh no. It's almost like the only white deck here is this humans, this blue-white control deck, and playing Stoneforge here would make this blue-white mid-range, so it would be a new and different deck, and playing Stoneforge here would be difficult to activate because there aren't a lot of white sources in the mana base. Oh no. So it would go into all of these white decks. Oh no. I know you personally were joking, Nivik, but there's a lot of people who genuinely make that argument and don't understand why it's bad and doesn't make sense. So I agree that Stoneforge Mystic would go in a lot of the white decks in Modern, but most of the white decks in Modern aren't good right now. So it would take decks that are currently not good and make them potentially good. You also can't ban Faithless Looting because it hurts too many decks. Yep. They had to. Alright, float mana. Hey, Twiddle Twiddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. Dang good looking. What you got cooking? Do 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 do. Be-do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So there's no point in splicing twice here because all the untaps happen at the same time, so I don't make extra mana by splicing more Psychic Puppetries onto here. They're surgically extracting my Reach Through Miss. Yep, deal. I wonder if they have multiple surgicals. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Not so. I agree with that assessment completely. All right, so Merchant Scroll, search my library for a blue instant card and grab it. I'm gonna hang on to that for the time being. Let's go peer through depths, place additional spells. Hey, look, Past in Flames. So, I could... puppetry before I do this, but I think that's not ideal. Wow. All right, so we're dead. And this is the problem. Yeah, it exposes it to surgical. So now we're going to untap this in response. And we're dead. I guess we're technically not dead on board, and I have 4 mana. So surgical plus trap plus spell pierce is gonna get us here. And while this deck, I actually boarded out one of the Past in Flames because this deck doesn't have to go off with Past in Flames, but... So... I think the line here is grab a Diddler. No, I think I'm supposed to grab a Dreamer's Grip here. So this way, I guess I could have peered. I feel like I'm pretty unlikely to go off this turn. I guess I could have. I think I just want to try and get an extra turn here and hope they don't have a bolt. They have bolts. All right. I guess if the Delver doesn't flip, I can diddle the Aberration. If this doesn't flip, we can diddle this. All right. And then maybe we hit a good run and we get to flashback Past in Flames next turn and kill them. Yeah, this deck doesn't have deterministic kills, Chris. Yeah, exactly. Like, if I survive here and hit Ideas Unbound, we could be okay. And honestly, maybe because this Spirebluff Canal was untapped last turn, I'm supposed to just get Ideas with the... No, this can't even get Ideas, right? It's only an instant. Yeah, never mind. I can't even get Ideas. Maybe I'm supposed to get Peer Through Depths to get Ideas. So, like, if I take Peer, we could grab this, and then this would draw us 3 cards. Maybe I'm supposed to go for it last turn. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to grab Peer and try and gamble there. You cast a bunch of spells and then you cast Grapeshot. And we cast a bunch of spells by continually untapping our Lotus Field. And then eventually you pass in Flames or Grapeshot for lethal. So the idea is that we're more difficult to interact with than, say, the mana creatures that normal Storm plays, but we're doing so at the cost of, like, having to draw Lotus Field to go off, which can be difficult. Yeah, they had a lot of disruption that game, and perhaps I should have been more aggressive and just gone for it on my last turn. Yeah, Tolaria West is there because your deck doesn't do anything if you don't have Lotus Field. Hey, look at that. I'm gonna bottom this, actually, I think. Did my moto lock up? Bottom, top. Land War Waste Hardened Scales. Outside of Graveyard Hate, they probably can't interact with us at all. So do I want to Peer here? Or do I want to cycle Lonely Sandbar? I'm going to cycle Lonely Sandbar, I think. Another reach, sure. And now the question is, do I want to cast this reach just to draw a card? I think I might, because I really want to find like one more Twiddle or our Splice onto Arcane. Or our Splice onto Arcane Twiddler. Twiddle diddle. Another Lonely Sandbar. My opponent's like not threatening lethal anytime soon. Is it crazy to just like cycle this and like wait a turn? I feel like it's not crazy to just wait a turn. I'm not under any sort of pressure here. Next turn I can Ideas Unbound. And like draw 3 cards now, which is sweet. Gives us a lot of looks. Am I dead to a Walking Ballista here? Ravager, Walking Ballista might have killed me. I'm also probably dead now if they do their thing, so I need to decide how I want to do this. I definitely want to peer through depths, because I'm looking for the Arcane Twiddler at this point. If we find the Arcane Twiddler, we should have a high probability of going off this turn. Well, there's the puppetry, but I'm dead on board, right? I have to discard 3 cards. If that's how my deck works. Yeah, they just go, yeah, we're dead. Every sack is 3 counters, and every time they add counters, they can pay 1 to make a thing to just have a constant string of food. So we're gonna have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 21. More than that even. I almost feel like I'm just supposed to click submit on the play. I feel like we're just supposed to click submit on the play. Maybe I'm supposed to bring the rebuild in. Yeah, we should probably bring the rebuild in and trim a Past in Flames. Trimming Past in Flames post board to make ourselves less susceptible to graveyard hate seems like a reasonable play a lot of the time. And this rebuild bounces all the artifacts that are in play, which is pretty good against my opponent's artifact deck. It's like hands like this. Am I supposed to mulligan this at 7? Just to like dig for something else? Yeah, I decided to do 2 modern. I'm sorry for the back and forth confusion. After I said we were going to 1 Modern League a day, Moto had downtime yesterday. And I wanted to make sure I did. I missed Monday morning, so I didn't want to like miss 2 days of Modern while going back to 1 a day, so I decided to do 2 today. Well, I mean, Tolaria West is a really slow copy of our thing. Continue my sub on the back of a sub gift. Thanks for the content, and thanks to the person who initially gifted the sub. Thanks for re-upping, Zajed. Good to have you here in chat. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so I guess we'll top, not that it really matters. Because next turn we'll play the Spirebluff Canal, cycle the T-West, grab the thing. But then there's the other half of this, like, now I've set myself up to get the land, but the rest of my hand doesn't do anything other than make mana, basically. I did not find a reason to be mad. It seems like they finally ironed out a bunch of details in a way that's very reasonable. Seems like they hired people who thought a bunch of stuff through and then wrote it down, which seems great. So we're looking for like an Ideas Unbound or a Peer next turn, a way to really generate a bunch of mana. How are you today? We're doing all right. Now the question is, are they going to have a turn 4 kill here? Yeah, I think their implementation and the idea behind both the Rivals League and the core of the MPL is very reasonable. Nah, I mean I've given Wizards of the Coast plenty of positive feedback over the years. Credit where credit is due. I'm just explicitly not allowed to give negative feedback on top of that. If they want to work with me, apparently. There's a lot of people that would have never bought into Arena without me, and I'm sure they know that. And part of it to a degree is too, they don't need to like me, right? Like they probably know I'm not going anywhere. I'm one of those silly people who really likes Magic, so they don't have to pay me money to keep me around. Not mad they use inflated auto embed streams to say they've doubled in size for Arena streams. At the end of the day, whatever they need to tell themselves is whatever. And honestly, them buying views is good for people like me. Like, while it's not all organic views on their events, it does push Magic up the listing in Twitch, which encourages more people to click through to it potentially, which might trickle into here at some point. How do you get on the front page of Twitch? There's a variety of ways. So the way that I miscellaneously end up on the front page of Twitch is that there's, when they don't have anybody scheduled to be on the front page of Twitch, there's a backlog of partners of a specific size, at a minimum, I believe, that my name is inside of. And those partners, in addition to being a specific size and being Twitch partners, they also are generally content that's not NSFW. So I have mild amounts of swearing, but you're not going to see anything too extreme on this channel other than that. It's not anything they're not embarrassed to put on the front page. I think we've died. Nice, Nancy. And we're dead. Yeah, I agree, Nivik. Hopefully we'll see them implement something like that at some point. It would be nice. It would be nice for them to be able to quantify how many people have bought into Arena because of me. Because I'm sure they realize that there's, a non-zero number, but I don't know if they realize the volume. Especially because, like, I encourage people to play weird constructed decks, which really requires putting money in a lot of the time. Yeah, I think this is a keep. I have Puppetry, which is a pretty important card to have, and Tolaria West is a slow glimmer. Slow Lotus, whatever this card's called. Is the video with comments on competitive play a separate video, a part of one of your videos from your stream? It's its own highlight, Dirty Digits. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will see it. Yeah, they could be taking turns with these Cascade Bluffs. They could also be like a Kiki Jiki Deceiver Exarch deck. Yeah, the long and short of it is, Siren, is a bunch of people ran a bunch of numbers through a bunch of spreadsheets and determined that it was more profitable to have the system be what it is now rather than giving people an easy avenue to buy cards. It's just like the TLDR. I gotta imagine this matchup's pretty okay for us. So they should be, probabilistically, they should be dead here. Unless they have, like, a bunch of force negations in their hand. Alright, so... Gosh, my hand's actually really bad here, huh? I can Eye of Nowhere them. Yeah, I mean, we can scroll for Pier, but then we can't do anything, right? Bouncing their land here is funny. It means they can't take a time walk next turn. So the fact that we can bounce their island means that, like, we're not super dead next turn. I could still try and go off this turn, but it's like pretty unlikely. So I can like merchant scroll for reach here and then like reach into something really good. So I have one, two, so I have one, this puts me to 4, this puts me to 5. I could technically, no, I already played a land for the turn. I played the Lotus. Wow, I can't believe they didn't commandeer my Eye to Nowhere. Alright, go. That's fine. We're pretty unlikely to go off from there anyway, so it's not really a big deal. And they're pretty unlikely to go off this turn, and we get to draw 3 cards next turn. So the card acquisition model on Arena is way more whale friendly than Hearthstone's card acquisition model is, which is probably a good way to have your system be, right? Like you probably want your system to be good for people who are going to spend lots of money on your game. Yeah, Commandeer can change the targets of a spell. This is hexproof though. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to pass in Flames there? I was probably supposed to pass in Flames there. I'm about to get remanded. Their mission briefing, their commandeer. That's deep. That's deep. I've never felt so wronged before, chat. Alright, I mean, I guess we're playing Fiery Isle and passing the turn. Yeah, you can all cost with mission briefing. It's different than Snapcaster Mage, the way it's templated. We are in the O2 bracket, which is why we're currently playing against taking turns. Alright, they didn't hit the miracle extra turn, so maybe we get another turn. They could exhaustion us, though. So the problem here is, for people saying we just passed in Flames kill this turn, is they have Cryptic mana up now, and they've seen 21 cards. There's a good chance whatever we cast to start is just getting Cryptic commanded. Yeah, I agree, Lala the Witch. I think it's less offensive than Hearthstone's, but I also think less offensive than Hearthstone's model is a really low bar. And when your comparison is simply, well, we're less crappy, it's not a very good comparison. All right, now we're pretty unlikely to get another turn because they're gonna have 5 mana next turn, and that's when they start taking extra turns. Yeah, they hit a turn with Temporal Mastery. I'm gonna concede if they take another turn next turn, because once they're at 7 lands, they're like pretty unlikely to brick. And honestly, they're pretty unlikely to brick at this point. Well, I mean, Exhaustion isn't even that good against us. Because if I just draw enough Twiddles, we can twiddle our way out. Since I have a land drop next turn. Like if I untap and draw a Twiddle. I actually don't currently have enough mana to Twiddle or Howling Mine. Oh, we got Giga Drowsed. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, we need to draw. We have 5 shots to draw a 1 mana Twiddle here. Come on. 1 mana Twiddle. 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 Oh no. Ah! Oh, puppy! Puppy! Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Cast and splice additional spells. Do da do da. Bum 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 bum. I would love to use Ideas Unbound ability. Cast and splice additional spells. Do da do da. Bum 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 bum. Like, I'm pretty sure this deck is bad, but I don't think it's like lose to taking turns bad. So I'm glad we hit there. Oh, Kamigawa block. Oh, Kamigawa block. All right, so. Right, then we make blue, and then we untap this. So this is how, for people asking how you combo, this is how you combo. This is how we combo. So we get to untap this thing a bunch, make a bunch of mana. And then we're generating storm count while we do this, in addition to generating mana. We cast this Past in Flames. And Past in Flames, let's just start flashing things back. And then we cast Peer Through Depths. And even though we're casting the Peer Through Depths from our graveyard, we still get to splice onto it, which is great. So we're working our storm count up here, working our storm count up. Work it. Second Grapeshot. Deal. Second Grapeshot brings an end to our clicking, so we can just double Grapeshot them. Triggers. Oh no! Why isn't there a same targets for all button, Moto? Why isn't there a same targets for all button, Moto? Look at that. Look at that clean, consistent turn 8 kill from us. And I don't mean turn 8 kill in the aspect of they took 4 and we took 4. I mean they took 8 turns and we took 8 turns and we barely scraped it out. It's really adorable that you just called taking turns a tier 2 deck. I don't really have cards in my sideboard that I want to bring. I guess I'm supposed to bring in, like, the Echoing Truth and the Wipe Away here. Seems fine. I like trimming 1 past in Flames because they're probably bringing Graveyard Hit. I don't want to get stranded with too many. Easy mulligan. I think this is a keep. We think this is a great hand for the deck. Maybe. Do you have any recommendations for oversized deck boxes? I played DC deck building and I'm almost out of space in my multiverse box. Those things are the easiest to move. I believe BCW makes a variety of long road deck boxes, but I don't really have that many cards that I need to store and stuff like that. Actually, I guess that's not completely true after Gen Con. I have a bunch of Warhammer cards in my house now. I should probably look at what BCW offers for their boxes and pick one up. We're just looking for Twiddles at this point, right? So I'm going to bottom this. Past the BCW shill, I don't have any personal experience with them, and I'd recommend checking out probably Tolaria Community College reviews. It's like what he's known for. Gen Con was alright. I like playing games. I don't know. The older I get, like, the less I feel like I'm into the whole, like, big con experience. Yeah, that's a Twiddle. But, like, I don't have... Like, do I feel like I need to start going for it here? I kind of want a Lotus Field and just pass. Is that crazy? Maybe I should have just peered this turn rather than Sleight of Hand. I guess I can go land and then peer. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm looking for a... I'm looking for the Splice Twiddle here. So I assume we're getting smacked for 7 here, but I guess they could exhaustion us this turn, and exhaustion ends up being pretty okay with the sequence that I ended up taking. Like, if they go land exhaustion, there's a good chance we're dead. $250,000 people. Nah, like, Gen Con's a pretty big con, and even their big 50th anniversary, I think they only had like 50 or 60,000 people. So not quite on that scale. All right, well, we didn't get exhaustion, so maybe we can kill them next turn. I think I'm probably going to lead on Ideas Unbound if we draw a brick. Nah, we'll probably lead on Serum Visions, see where that takes us. So now they have us on a real clock, and they can threaten to start taking extra turns next turn. So it's important that I try and do something this turn. Hey, Dubs Puppetry, you say? Tippity top, the fun don't stop. So we get to untap this, draw a card. And then we'll do this, splice this, untap this. And then we'll do this, splice this, untap this. It's a lot of Psychic Puppetry, chat. We'll do this, splice this, untap this. We'll do this, splice this, untap this. I mean, the taking turns deck is pretty bad. We played it on stream very recently for anybody who needs an example of how bad the taking turns deck is. What's the rationale behind keeping the second puppetry? Because every puppetry makes 1 extra mana here when you just cast them, and like, I have Past and Flames in my hand, so I might as well keep them because they make 1 extra mana, and Past and Flames is gonna let me draw infinite cards anyways. Why are we not splicing multiple puppetries? Because splicing multiple puppetries doesn't do anything. They all untap at the same time. Is there a website where I can browse genuine magic artwork and buy them as posters? There probably is, but I don't know what it is offhand. Like Ravenous Trapped here. They had 75,000 for Gen Con this year. Interesting. Alright. So they commandeered there, but I can just do this. Do you have another commandeer? Nope. All right, let me pop out my hand here. Start doing some stuff. Untap target permanent, that one. All right, and now I just need to start working towards a Grapeshot. So we'll cast this, splice this, untap this. And to be fair, this is a turn 4 kill. Like we were talking about the potential consistency or inconsistency of this deck earlier, and like that was our 4th turn. Looks like Team Twiddle is storming off again. So this deck doesn't have the same susceptibility to having their Storm creature removed as traditional Storm does, but it feels like it kind of needs Passive Flames to go off a lot of the time, and I feel like being weak to Graveyard Hate in this format is mediocre. Keep. I'm going to play Sandbar on 1. We might end up cycling the second one, though. All right. Let's see how this goes. You run an Ad Nauseam. That seems ambitious. I feel like any deck that's not pressuring your health total to the point where you can Ad Nauseam, you should probably be beating anyways, right? Yeah, normal Storm is also susceptible to Graveyard Hate to a degree, but like, there's a reason why traditional Storm hasn't been a popular deck recently too. I think I'm cycling this. I don't know if it was right to play that there or not, but like, our hand just doesn't do anything and we need to find our Lotus Field. Many videos of me playing Scapeshift in Modern. There are some videos of us playing a Naya Titan deck a little bit, but in general, I usually don't accept Scapeshift as the donation deck because I find the gameplay pretty dry and repetitive. All right. And here we go. Yeah, and no fault to anybody. My comment there might sound a little harsh to people who are playing the deck, but like, if you enjoy Scape Shift, don't let my distaste for the archetype, you know, harsh you out or whatever. I think I should have Serum Visions before I should have Serum Vision before I did the other thing. Past in Flames, is that lethal? That might be lethal. Here's for getting Camptown races stuck in my head. God bless. Alright, so this makes 3. And then, yeah, we can do that. Alright, so we do this. We untap this. We cast Past in Flames. And then we get to Dreamer's Grip, untap this. And we get to Dreamer's Grip, untap this. And a lot like the what's it called deck that we've played a lot of on this stream, the Jeskai Ascendancy deck. This deck has a bottleneck on cards and mana, and now we kind of don't have both. Yeah, what you just said there, Tom. It's not good until you're going for it. And once you're going for it, you probably are going to get there with most of the things that you have anyways. So I have a Grapeshot in my hand. I just want to make plenty of mana here, I think. Hey, Corn Chips, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Oh yeah, there's Ideas Unbound in here from earlier too, right? So, at this point, we're just going through the motions. It does the motions on the skin or else it gets the hose again. I think this is fun for my opponent. I would say I was worried about them having fun, but they chose to register Jund in this format. They knew what they were getting into. I normally play Mono Red Phoenix, but my friend that I borrowed the deck off is playing in the SCG Tour this weekend. Fair. Mono Red Phoenix is a sweet build. Yeah, sorry. I did a little bit more than I had to there. I just assumed they were at 20. I was watching the storm count and not their health total. So for those of you just joining us and wondering the same thing as Stone Keep, the reason why we're able to keep untapping our land there is the mechanic called Splice onto Arcane on the Psychic Puppetry card. And basically every time I cast a card called an Arcane spell, I can pay 1 mana to have Psychic Puppetry untap or tap something. So these Reach Through Miss, Peer Through Depths, Ideas Unbound, I can basically pay a 1 mana kicker when this is in my hand to untap my Lotus Field, which lets me chain through my deck and generate Storm Count, which eventually lets me kill them with this Grapeshot card, which does 1 damage for every spell that's been cast on the turn. How am I supposed to board here? So I assume they're going to board in Graveyard Hate. Do I just bring in these Aria Flames? What do we think of that? What if we trim most of these Passant Flames and bring in these Arias? Maybe trim like a Vizier as well. That seems fine potentially. Yeah, maybe Empty's supposed to come in too. I'm not sure how much I can dilute our deck on average and still reasonably combo. So less is more is usually a good mantra to have when you're not 100% certain with how you're sideboarding. And of course, I boarded down to 1 copy of Past in Flames, and it's in my opening hand. To be fair, we probably have a pretty okay Ponza matchup. The Lotus land is hexproof. So opponent kept their hand very obviously on the back of Leyline of the Void. They don't have any pressure to go with it, so that's really nice for us. What are the odds this Aria of Flame dies when I cast it? Feels high. I'm just gonna go transmute for the Lotus land here. Your Baron Moore has been cycled, opponent. No, we've had a few turn 4 kills, though. Like, this is probably a turn 4 kill, right? Good. Feels like a good chance we hit a turn 4 here. Ginger Cake, thank you for the 25 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't think I want to Aria this turn and just like, maybe I'm supposed to Aria. I think we can just try and kill them, right? going on, Tolaria? So I get to untap this, which then gives me a total of 5 mana. So I can play Aria. And now I can reach through Myth, splicing this, untap this. So let's go save target, always yield. Yeah, now it doesn't look like they can interact with this Aria, so they should be dead here. So Aria of Flame, for those not familiar here, it gains my opponent 10 life when it comes into play. And then every time we cast an instant or sorcery, it gains a counter and then deals damage to my opponent equal to the number of counters on it. And again, we're using the splice onto our arcane mechanic here to allow us to keep untapping this again and again and again with various spells that we're casting. This game was a fantastic example of you can't just have disruption to beat us. And my opponent, like, after we killed them with Past in Flames last game, it looks like my opponent kept their entire hand on the back of their Leyline of the Void and it just didn't do anything. All right, we're 2-2. Let's see if we can steal the 5th one here and finish 3-2. At the very least, we'll get 500 points back or whatever. Yeah, look at that. They had Maelstrom Pulse here too, so really happy that I didn't just like play Aria out and pass and waited until I could play it in the same turn. Yeah, this is definitely a better splice on Arcane deck than Grishelbrand. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. How would you rate its competitiveness? I'd bet this deck is very reasonable overall. I think in terms of, especially in a competitive to price ratio, like, it's difficult for decks that can randomly Goldfish turn 3 kills to be that bad. And we have had a number of turn 4 kills today. And there's a chance that one of the matches that we lost, if I had gone for it on a turn before we died, that we might have actually won that one. I feel like with the Tolaria West, this seems probably consistent enough to get these Lotus Fields. This seem more reasonable than Standard Storm. Yeah, I think so. I think there's a very clear reason why typical Storm hasn't been putting up results lately, and not depending on the creatures makes this a lot better. Removing, like, Modern is all about not letting your opponent interact with you, right? And this deck removes a very critical axis of interaction, essentially. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. Like, double Past in Flames is awkward. It has Tolaria West to find field, but it also just doesn't have any other lands to use with it. This hand seems fine. I think I'm gonna bottom Eye of Nowhere in the dark. The Gak is back! Or it's Phoenix. Smells like chicken. Those are actually very good draws. Sweet. So we get to play Spirebluff Canal, play Sleight of Hand, cycle Lonely Sandbar next turn. And then, if we're fortunate, this could be a turn 3 kill potentially if we get fortunate. Opponent's deck's like relatively quick, but usually not turn 3 quick. Usually they're like consistently dead you by 4 quick. I'm really great at doing chicken noises. I aim to excel at all the things I attempt. So you want to cycle the sandbar here before you Sleight of Hand, because generally speaking, oh gosh, that was unfortunate. To set an exceedingly low bar, Wild Feather, this deck has surpassed my expectations. No, this deck can't win on 2 because you need 2 lands in play for Lotus Field to work. I guess there's a world where you like generate enough storm count responding to the enter the battlefield trigger. I think maybe. Maybe. So they have Faithless Looting and Lava Dart. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if they find any bolt, I'm dead. I guess they need land and a bolt. I feel like I'm just not close enough to going off here, and I just want to cycle this Lonely Sandbar. There's an Ideas Unbound. Oh, I'm so dumb I forgot to look over here. So I'm dead? Did I mess that up? Yeah, I'm dead. So what would Ideas Unbound have drawn? Oh, wait. I'm so dumb. I tilted because I missed something, and then I tilted into missing something else. All right, well, 1, we probably would have gotten there, because, like, this had to draw this, basically. So if I would have gone for it, we would have drawn this, and then this would have drawn these, and then this would have drawn these, and then I think we would have gotten it from there. So I could have played this island, though, once I already cycled the Lonely Sandbar. I should have played the island, and then I could Psychic Puppetry and tap this. And they wouldn't have gotten to attack with the Prowess trigger. Yeah, I think there's a good chance, because we would have been exceedingly lucky, we would have turn 3'd them here. But I also could have just played this land and tapped the Swift Spear, and then almost certainly killed them on 4. So I think it's right to not go for it there, because like you basically need Ideas Unbound or reach into Ideas Unbound on the top of your deck for going there to work for it with how bad our hand was. But I should have played my island and then tapped their Swift Spear, taken a hit, untapped, killed them next turn. Like there's a small chance they kill us the following turn, but I think it's unlikely on average, and I should have been a little conservative there and just tapped their thing. The idea that our combo pieces are also fogs for 1 creatures is something that I need to have as a muscle memory when we're playing this. This deck is a lot like JAC in that you're solving puzzles while you're combo. You're not just, oh, deterministic, kill you, you're dead, which makes it more fun to play, I think. I find Storm incredibly boring and repetitive to play because even when it's good, it's a lot of I do this thing, I'm deterministic, you die. Whereas like decks like this and JAC, you kind of go through the motions, and you're not just going through the motions, you're like trying to figure out what are the correct motions. Yeah, this is a deck I would take again. This deck's been killing. Yeah, I agree, Pokemon Nerd is very similar to Valakut. Agree with that assessment. Gonna do this and set them back a turn. Yeah, we've been killing on turn 4 pretty consistently. And like I messed up that first game in 2 different ways. And like I think we could have beaten the Delver deck too. That turns this off, right? Does that stop field? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, it does. All right, I'm gonna concede. By the time I didn't board in extra bounce spells to play around that, so that's fine. I messed up the first game there, and we won one of the other ones. At the end of the day, like I often talk about, like the actual results of the games that we're playing, I'm not super worried about. It felt like we had some interesting combo turns with this deck, and the rate at which we killed by 4 felt pretty reasonable overall, and I think this is definitely this is checking the boxes that I would be looking to check in a modern deck that I'm interested in playing. So if you're a fan of this deck and you're someone who submits decks to the queue on occasion, this would be a deck that I would be willing to play again in modern for sure. That being said, we are going to roll on into some standard for the remainder of the day.